Guys, Marissa here, and I wanted to do a video on how to use a document camera. This is a question that I've been getting a lot lately, and so I figured it was just time to do a little walkthrough of how you can use a document camera in telepractice. So this is my setup. I have an Apivo, and I'll put the link to this in the description. There's a bunch of different options of Apivo. This is actually an older one. They don't make this one anymore, but it's about the same price. It's about $100. And what I like about it is that it's got this really sturdy base that's weighted, and then these adjustable arms so that you can change, if you want it to be pulled down like this. You can also adjust the camera in lots of different ways, like it rotates and stuff. And then on the camera, there are different features. So this green button will let you take a picture of whatever you're broadcasting. This one, I believe, focuses if it's not focusing right. And then there's different settings for like how you may input it. And I never deal with that, but it's there. And all you have to do is have a USB connection. This is connected to my computer through USB. And it comes with its own software. So to show you here, it's called Apivo Visualizer. When you bring it up, because I have it sideways, it'll look sideways, but there's an easy way to do that. It's got all these different features of how you might play with the camera. Like it's got select a camera, so I can actually choose if I want it to be the Apivo camera, or I can have it be my webcam, and it's going to look really blurry just coming through Apivo, but I never use my webcam that way. So back to the Apivo camera, it looks really crisp. You can also zoom in, so that's nice if you need to, without having to move the camera. And then let's get this rotated. We're just going to rotate it a couple degrees here. Then you can adjust the camera the way that you need so that it looks a little bit clearer, looks a little bit more in line. So just kind of adjusting your paper and your camera and all that. You can also take pictures on this. So if I click that green button, it's going to take a picture and save it. So we'll just put it in my documents here, and then when we pull up my documents, there will be a new picture in here. Okay, so we get an actual picture of, it's loading here. Actual picture of what we just took. So if you wanted to, give a screenshot basically of what you're doing to send to the family, this is gonna take forever to load, but it is a picture of what we just looked at. So some things that I use with my document camera, you can use paper. I typically don't like to use paper just because I don't want to waste printing it. I would rather use a digital version, but you can. And then let's say that you wanted to go through this worksheet, this, like survey with your client, you can easily write along with them so they can kind of see how you're filling it out. Now, like I said, I typically do this digitally, but to each his own. This is something that you can use with your document camera. Another thing that you can do is books. So if we replace our sheet with a book here, instead of having to use digital books, which are great, I mean, if you use like Epic or Books, or even YouTube has some nice books, I got a couple that I know are just really popular with the kids that I'm working with. And so it broadcasts like that. It's nice and clear. And then you can go through and read. The only downside I've found is just because this only has so long of an arm, I'm only going to be able to get one page in, really, that you can see the full page at a time. Now, one way to get past that is to prop this up and put it up a little bit higher, on a couple of books. You could do that. Or I just, kind of move it. Okay, here's the first page, here's the second page, like that. So you can do books. You can also do toys. And so I like to do Play-Doh. It appears like that. So because we're doing from the top, although you can always rotate it so they can see. And then I'll use Play-Doh just as like my client is playing with Play-Doh themselves. I'll play with the Play-Doh. Maybe we make the same thing, or I'm labeling stuff on the Play-Doh. So you can bring in your own existing toys, especially if there's something that are really common and your client already has. So that's the way that you do that through Apivo. Now, if you want to broadcast this, like how do we broadcast this image to our client? We've got Apivo up, and then we've got our Zoom window, right? And what you're going to do is go to Screen Share, and you see all the different options that there are available. What I want to click is just the Apivo visualizer. And the reason I'm doing that rather than the entire screen is, one, I have a big screen so it looks really small, but two, it also makes it just look a little cleaner so that all they're seeing is the Play-Doh. So I share that. And then right now, this is all that the client sees is my visualizer. So anything that comes into the camera, they can see. They're also going to see my image if I have my camera up, but this is, you know, just a trial session, so obviously nobody is there. We can stop sharing that. Now, one other thing people will ask me is, okay, I don't want to spend the money on the document camera. Can I just use an old phone or my iPad that I have lying around? Totally. I've seen some really cool things that people have done with like cans of beans to like hold their phone, or a baker's rack to put their iPad on. So what you're going to want to do is, my recommendation is to go with AirServer. So I'll put a link in the description to the app. The app itself is free. However, you're going to want to buy the program as a software for your computer, and I'll show you where that is. So it's called AirServer. This is exactly what I use to mirror my iPad, but it also works for Android. So you're going to come look at the products and then pick whichever one works for you. You know, if you want AirServer for Windows or AirServer for Mac, one of those two, just depending on which Windows you have. It costs, I think, $20 to $30, and it's a lifetime usage. So you don't have to pay a subscription. Well worth the money. This is an alternative to, in Zoom, if you're trying to share your screen, and you see how it has iPhone, iPad, it's built into Zoom, but it's been really finicky lately. And so what I'll do instead is share the AirServer. So on your phone, you're going to download AirServer as an app. I think it's called AirServer Connect. And then on your phone, you're going to pull up that app and connect it to your computer. So I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so you're going to go to, if you have Android, you'll go to Google Play, or it'll also work for Apple. You'll want to find AirServer Connect, and then when you open that, it will automatically sync to the AirServer program that you've purchased for your computer. And then you can pick the PC. I don't know why mine is listed twice, but it is. So then you can pick which one, and it'll go through Wi-Fi. So this is me getting around Bluetooth because I don't have Bluetooth on this desktop. I have it on my laptop, but not on this one. So this is a way to get around Bluetooth. So if you click or unclick this, you can see it disconnects, and it'll just give you that blank, and then it'll say it's starting to capture everything that's on your screen. So if you want it to be a camera, come to your camera, and then you just start recording, or you could leave it like this. You don't actually have to have a recording going. You can just have it be a live feed, and it'll work just like a document camera. So if you don't want to spend the money on, you know, $100 or so document camera, you don't have to. You can use it, ooh, picture in picture in picture. You can just use it as a document camera that way. So if you have that up and you want to share it in Zoom, all you're going to have to do then, we'll just leave this up so you can see chicka chicka boom boom. You'll go back to your share screen, and then you'll pick AirServer rather than the Apivo visualizer. So if you share that, that's all that your client is going to be able to see. So just kind of play around with those settings, see which one works better for you. You're still going to be able to do that with iPad. If you have an extra iPad laying around, it works for Android or iOS. So there's two options for you on how to make a document camera or buy a document camera and how you can use it in therapy.